many of you know the reason why your parents had you in the first place? Really? Only like 4 of you? You've never asked? Oh, God. Okay. Well, the sad reality is that most people don't actually become super conscious of why they have children before they have them. And if most people were super honest about the real reasons why they're having the children that they're having, it wouldn't look so good. It would look incredibly self-centered. For some people, for example, it would be, I'm having children because I want to strengthen my relationship with another person. For other people, it would be, I want this thing to validate me as a person, right? There's lots of these types of reasons, but parents can't admit to them because, of course, if they did, it would make them bad. And badness is the enemy of the human ego. So literally, our consciousness is going to prevent us from knowing those answers at all costs. But there's a syndrome, kind of, that I'm seeing in the world here when we're born to parents, which is actually the majority of them, who have these more self-centered reasons for having children. And I'm going to be teaching about this around the world. You're the first audience to be hearing about this. I'm calling it the doll complex. So let's pretend that you've got a mother. We're just going to play with mom, because I'll go with dad in a second. But let's say that you've got a mom who loved to play with dolls when she was younger. Now, look at a 4-year-old child with a doll. They feel a sense of self-esteem in the pretend game that they're playing with this doll. It feels good to them to imagine that this doll needs them for something and that they can meet those needs. And the problem here, though, is that the 4-year-old can put the doll in the corner and just leave it there while it does other things that it wants to do. And the doll's not crying and isn't suffering in any way. It's almost like the only thing that gives that doll animation is when it's being interacted with. You can see where the problem would come in if this is the type of relationship that a parent would expect from a child. So how many of you have 4-year-olds? Does anybody here have children or have seen them with dolls before? Do you notice that they love to dress to match the doll? The doll basically becomes their mini-me. So many parents, they're having children with this expectation, that the child is going to be a mini-me, that the child's not going to have needs when it's inconvenient for them to have those needs. The child can't actually have a sense of self. And not only that, this type of parent becomes really frustrated when the child's needs are incongruent with the parent's needs. So the parent essentially expects the same thing to happen with the child that happened with the doll. I want to put it in the corner when I want it in the corner. I'm not going to feed it according to its schedule. I'm going to feed it according to mine. And that leaves a child in a completely powerless